Now, since it's kind of gloomy outside here, which is good and it's bad, since we're wheat farmers, the water's good for the wheat, but it's like, okay, when is summer going to arrive? Because it's just about June, and the little Dio is almost ready to go, and I've just been informed by the state they got some new scam for sucking more money out of us. That my license plate back here, that the reflective coating only lasts 5 years. Therefore, they got to charge me a whole bunch more money to get me a new plate. But if I want to keep the same numbers, I can just pay them $20 and they'll let me have the same numbers. But if I kept the same plate on there, the exact same plate, I wouldn't have to pay anyone any money, and the plate's in perfect shape. So it's just one more way to suck some money from the state. Now I put this little Molossi sticker on here. I got a Molossi decal on it. I think it's going to look pretty cool. I want to kind of make the bike look dangerous, but I don't want to go way too Filipino on it. And that's with all due respect to the people of the Philippines. They have the most bling bling, coolest cars and trucks that are all dubbed out like you couldn't believe. No American could even come close to being that cool with their modifications. This has already been polished, so it's kind of a dull day. I'm going to take my front panel here, and I've put my orange stripes on it, my Repsol stripes, and I've got some warm water down here with a little bit of dish soap in it so that it kind of lubricates better. And I'm going to take my 2000 grit sandpaper here. 3M is always the best to buy. 3M is they make all the parts and paints and stuff for the space shuttle. So they are the top of the line. They are the Ferrari, the Lamborghini of auto body material, in my opinion. So I'm going to take off this orange peel. There's just a little of it, but when you do something like this, you got to remember that you don't want to burn through or down to the paint coating. And the best way to avoid that is to remember just how much clear that you put on it. And when you have that clear, you put a little bit more on it than you should. And you always want to stay away from these edges right here. If you can see, I don't see, like right down in here. You can see it right there. See how close I can get this camera. The sandpaper right here will burn right through this edge right here. It'll burn through this edge here. It will burn right through up in here, this small areas right here, and it will burn on your edges down here. So you always want to do your big flat spots first. Do the big wide open areas first. Stay away from these edges here, and down here, and here, and do them last. And we just take a little bit of water, and I sand. You always want to go in one direction. Don't go in circles. Go in one direction, up and down. It makes it a lot easier for the polishing. And then do your hard spots last. You can see where it's burned through right here. You can see that's probably a pretty good example of what sandpaper can do. Now that's going to be covered with a washer, so that's no big deal. But if you burn through the blue color, orange color, then you can't, it doesn't grow back. So, and remember, practice makes perfect. You start on these panels and you just keep working on them. When I started auto body, I worked on a truck bumper. That was the first thing they let me work on. And I worked higher and higher and higher until I was hanging from the ceilings painting 18-wheelers. I can't do that anymore, but just practice makes perfect. All right, I'm going to strip this down and see what we got.